Welcome back to our example Flashblocks website. We'll start off where we left off with example1.fla, and we need to upgrade these components as they've been updated. We'll replace our existing components with the new components in our components panel. That looks better. Let's save this as example 1.2. And let's clean up the stage a little bit. Let's remove all of these components here. Let's delete some of these media blocks. We'll just keep the background and maybe one more media block as well. Resize the text field. Let's resize this. The image will be resized and cropped on the server to the new dimensions of the media block automatically. Let's publish it and preview it. There, that looks right. Now we're going to integrate an open source gallery called the Peacemaker. It's beautifully done and generously offered by modularweb.net. So let's download this and see what we have. We have a tween engine class, and the gallery class itself. We'll need to copy those over to our working folder. And our site is actually published into the www directory. We need to copy over the CSS file, the XML file, and the images. All of these are required by the gallery. And of course, we need the Peacemaker Gallery FLA itself. So let's open that. We're just going to copy over all of the assets in the library of the Peacemaker Gallery, copy it over to our example website. Flash CS5 automatically creates fonts for us in the library. Let's rename this one Peacemaker font, just so it doesn't interfere with our fonts in our example Flash movie. So we'll copy that over. And let's copy all three of the frames as well. Copy those over into their own folder. We have the gallery's shadow, and some action script associated with the gallery. We'll look at that later. Let's make sure everything turned out. Looks good. Okay, now let's see if we can manage editing this with Flashblocks. This example is primarily about editing XML files with Flashblocks, so we're going to focus on that, although we could theoretically manage any properties of the Peacemaker Gallery. Let's see here. So our target for this edit block is actually the Peacemaker Gallery, which has the instance name of Peacemaker. We can't drop it directly on the Peacemaker instance because it has no real shape, so we have to manually enter the target, the edit block's target. Let's publish and test it out. Log in, and there it is. Now there are many properties available to us here. We're just going to focus on the XML source property, which references the Peacemaker XML file. We're basically editing an editor right now. Let's turn off every attribute except for the XML source attribute. We'll change the editor type to XML editor because we do want to edit the XML file with the XML editor. We'll save this. Our Peacemaker editor is looking a lot cleaner now that we're editing a single attribute. Underscore Peacemaker isn't the best title here, so we can reopen our editor manager and let's just change it to gallery. We'll save this editor again. Every instance of the Peacemaker gallery will always use our new editor now. So here are the attributes of the XML file. We're going to change the segments to 12 as a little test. Save it and refresh. Yeah, here we have 12 segments in the gallery now. We've successfully edited the XML file of the Peacemaker gallery. There's another way to edit XML files in Flashblocks, and that's with in the header of the edit menu. When we open it, we can see the objects that we want to edit in the menu. But we also, in the header, we also have the XML editor we can access. It's basically just a directory of XML files. Any XML files in here we can edit. So let's see if we can manage, if we can move the Peacemaker XML file. Well, we're just going to cut it and then paste it into the XML directory, the Flashblocks 3 data XML directory. Let's do the same with the gallery's images. We're going to rename images to gallery. And let's cut this and paste it into our media folder. This is our media editor defaults to the media directory in our Flashblocks 3 folder. So once we look at these actions that are part of the gallery, we can see that there is a reference to the XML file. So we're going to change that to point to the new location. And likewise, we'll do the same with the Peacemaker's image source. Change that from images to Flashblocks 3 media gallery, where we place the images. So let's republish that and test it out. Once again, go to the XML editor, and there it is. This is an easy way to edit any number of XML files just by placing them all into a single directory. We save our changes, close the editor, and refresh and see if it works. When it loads in the XML, sure enough, 3 segments. And likewise, let's see if we can manage the images from the file manager. There's our gallery, there's our images. At this point, we have successfully integrated a third-party script with a Flashblocks website. We are managing its XML file and its images. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the Flashblocks forum.